Disability contributes to and deepens poverty on an individual, family, and community level due to discrimination and institutional and attitudinal barriers. So, a person with a disability in their family are less likely to have access to rehabilitation, education, skills training, and employment opportunities which could otherwise reduce poverty. Costs of living with disability are much higher in terms of medical costs and equipment like wheelchairs for those with physical disability. There is clear evidence that there is a strong association between the presence of disability and the incidence of poverty. Using the 50% of median income benchmark, the poverty rate for households with a disability is 1.6% above that of households unaffected by disability. People with disability are less likely to have completed Year 12, be in paid work, and are more likely to be living on a low income and experiencing multiple disadvantages. Despite the importance of this issue, Australia does not routinely monitor the socio-economic inequalities for people with disabilities. The UN Declaration on the Rights of Disabled People states in Article 3, disabled persons have the inherent right to respect for their human dignity. Disabled persons, whatever the origin, nature, and seriousness of their handicaps and disabilities, have the same fundamental rights as their fellow citizens of the same age, which implies, first and foremost, the right to enjoy a decent life as normal and full as possible. Article 6 states, disabled persons have the right to medical, psychological, and functional treatment, including prosthetic and orthotic appliances, to medical and social rehabilitation, education, vocational training and rehabilitation, aid counselling, placement services, and other services which will enable them to develop their capabilities and skills to the maximum and will hasten the processes of their social integration or reintegration. There are many reasons why people with disabilities experience higher rates of poverty. Firstly, those with disabilities experience significant job market disadvantage, which may not simply be due to the direct effect of their disability on their capacity to undertake the work. It may also include poor education and training outcomes and poor access to employment opportunities. Poverty-aware practice is an important framework for social workers to use when dealing with people with disabilities who are also experiencing poverty. Often, poverty can be normalised in social work practice. Because such a large segment of social work clients live in poverty, poverty becomes normal or natural. Often the reasons behind a client being in poverty aren't viewed critically, particularly in the case of those living with disability. The institutional and societal discrimination faced by those with disabilities is not often considered. The National Disability Insurance Scheme is a government-funded support program for those experiencing persistent lifetime disabilities. It will be rolled out in Queensland from June 2016. Housing is an important issue for the National Disability Insurance Scheme. Affordable, stable housing is needed to support people with disability in achieving their life goals and aspirations. The NDIS will provide ongoing supports for daily living but has not been designed to take responsibility for the housing needs of participants. The NDIS recognises that housing policy is a matter for governments. The NDIS includes more access to info and referral, support to access community services and activities, as well as individualised plans and supports and a lifetime commitment to support for those who need it. Now that I've been able to understand poverty at a more complex level, my future practice will be changed significantly. Poverty-aware practice is a framework I will be working from in my future employment. It is likely that the majority of my clients will be experiencing poverty, and having a critical understanding of the reasons behind their financial hardship will make me a better worker. Before completing this course, I didn't have any understanding of the disadvantage that those with disabilities faced, not only in the workforce, but in every area of our community. In my future practice, I aim to better support and advocate for those with disabilities who are also experiencing poverty.